Hi, my name is Bree Simmons. I am the Educational Enrichment Chairperson for a nonprofit in town called the Looking Glass Theater Company. And I'm here to tell you about a pretty cool project that I either talked to your teacher or your parents or somebody that thought that you would be interested in this opportunity. So let's not waste any time. Let's get started. I want to take about a dozen 8th through 12th graders to New York City to attend something called the Broadway Student Summit in February 2023. So there's a lot that's going to go into this process, and we're going to try to get through it quickly, so bear with me, but let's go. So I'm going to show you this presentation that I made because I think it kind of sums up the information that I need to give you as quickly as possible. So look how beautiful she is. I promise it's way more beautiful in person too. If you haven't seen it yet, this is going to be a great opportunity to do so. All right. So in this trip, we will have a tour director that will take us around New York City. Of course, we will be there for the workshops, but the workshops aren't 24/7. So we're going to have other stuff that we get to do while we are on this trip. And we'll have a tour director that'll kind of be guiding us along the way, that'll be experienced and ready to go. So with the trip, you will also have transportation to and from the airport, from the summit to different venues, to all of that fun stuff. There will probably be a lot of walking because it's a walking kind of city. And you'll get a subway pass and all of that for if we need to go too far. Select meals will be covered, which means you'll have a lunch per diem. You will have complimentary breakfast at the hotel, and you'll really only be responsible for dinner. Tourist opportunities. So outside of the workshop, we'll be going to the top of the Rockefeller Center. We'll go to Times Square, Hard Rock Cafe, Central Park, Ellen's Stardust Diner, and a bunch of other stuff that is not listed, but it's definitely in the works. I've been working pretty closely with our tour guide and our travel agency that is helping me get all of this stuff off the ground and get it going. So let's talk about the cost. So this is what our payment plan is going to look like. I know that first payment says 130, but it'll actually be 150. That's kind of what we decided upon for a initial cost, because this kind of has changed depending on how many kids come, the dates and taxes and all of that fun stuff. So just to be safe, we will ask for a $150 non-refundable deposit on May 27th, 2022, which will be about 2 weeks after you find out if you've been accepted to the program or not. So this is what it's looking like. Now, I know this can look a little bit intimidating, but they broke the cost up into bite-sized chunks. And so these bite-sized chunks will be a little bit more attainable because we will be fundraising and having all kinds of fun events and looking for sponsorships and all of that I'll get into in a minute. When it comes to funding and money and all of the stuff that can make things kind of complicated, but that we need to make sure that we take care of to make these kinds of things possible. Yeah. So this is what our payment plan looks like. Right off the bat, it may look a little bit intimidating, but when I get to the application, you'll kind of see how we want to work with you and get these things to happen. All right, we don't need that. Now let's look at the application real quick. So we ask for some real basic stuff: your name, your email address, your phone number. It is really important that we see that you are taking some responsibility for yourself and, kind of doing the motions and putting in the work, that it's not just up to your mom. It's not just up to your dad. You're the one that wants to go on this trip. You're the one that needs to make it happen. And you may not be going on this trip with them. So we need to know that you've got the gumption and that you've got the maturity to be able to handle this kind of trip and this kind of experience. So you're going to be the one in charge here. Put your email address and your phone number. We're going to ask for your age. Now, I do feel like we want to make sure that it's clear. Since this is an opportunity we'll only be offering every year or every 2 years, there will be some juniors and seniors that get priority when it comes to being picked, because they may not get to apply for this opportunity again. Whereas you, who may be in 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, will definitely get an opportunity to apply for this again. And I'm sure once you have some more experience, you'll be a shoo-in and you'll get that seniority priority. So we'll ask for your date of birth, your address, your school name. This is something we're offering across Acadiana: homeschool, public school, private school. So it'll be a really cool opportunity for you to make new friends with different performing arts students and for young performing artists around Acadiana. And it kind of makes sure that you're following the criteria. You go to school in Acadiana. Your GPA, just because it gives us an idea of your academic merit when it comes to educational opportunities. And then this part's kind of important. This is the part I was talking about a minute ago. Well, you need financial assistance such as fundraising or scholarships to attend. Cost is estimated to be around $3,000. That's about the max cost of this trip. And that does include spending money. But That's a lot of money. So, and with 12 kids at $3,000, that's about $36,000 that we're going to try to fundraise all together. Now, that may sound intimidating, but I know that with our awesome team of students that we're going to get on board for this trip, it will be a breeze. So we'll have all kinds of fundraising opportunities in the summer where we're going to try to raise money, from car washes to bake sales to even more creative things that we can come up with as artists. And yeah, so this is kind of what we're working with. And then we ask, do you need a partial or full scholarship? This just kind of helps us know how much we can help you and how much help you need, because there may be some students who don't need any help at all. Mom and dad can definitely pay for you to attend this opportunity, and that's so cool. But there may also be some people who need to, or who want to attend this trip, who need a lot more help. What's really important, and I'm going to get to this at the bottom of the application, is that we're all going to help each other make this possible. We are going to fight for the equity of every performer in this group getting to participate and be part of the group. So I'll get more into that in a minute. Now, this is the part where we want to know more about you as a performer. So what have you done? Rate your music skills from 1 to 5, acting skills, and dance skills. It's okay if you don't have a 5 in any of these things. We don't expect you to. We just want to know where you're at. How long have you been doing this? Kind of how many shows have you been in? How many dance reviews have you been in? How many classes have you taught? How many dances have you learned? How many things have you choreographed? How many things have you directed? These are all kinds of things that we just want to know and keep in mind to kind of help us decide who is ready to go on a trip like this and who can benefit the most from it right now. So it's totally fine if you have a 1 in dance and a 2 in music and a 3 in acting. Like, that's totally fine. We want you to be honest. And then at the bottom here, underneath all of that, we want you to list any performance experience that you have in any of these 3 fields. So if you were in your school's production, if you were in your school's choir concert and had a solo, if you've played a big role in a show, if you've only been in plays, tell us what plays you've been in. If you've participated in CYT or Wonderland or the Music Box or the Music Academy or School of Rock or any of that stuff, we want to know. So list all of that in your performance experience and kind of tell us what you did. Did you sing? Did you play? What did you get going on? Now, this bottom part is where we kind of get into the nitty gritty. So it's really important that you hear this part, okay? Make sure you got your listening ears going. All right, by submitting this application, you're acknowledging you may be asked for additional information, such as an interview and video audition submission for a spot. So interviews will all be via Zoom. They'll take place about a week or so after the applications close. We'll talk about that date in a minute. But they will all be via Zoom with our application committee, which is not me, because I already love all of you and want to bring all of you with me, which is why I can't be in charge of making that decision. So we'll have an application committee of 3 people who are wonderfully well-established performing artists or theater industry professionals, either in our area or who once served in our area. And they're going to be the ones in charge of deciding who gets to go on this trip. And then your video audition submission. So that will be 1 minute monologue, 1 minute dance, or 1 minute song, or it can be a 1 minute song and a 1 minute dance, or like it can be a combination, any combination of the 3 or all 3 if you have experience in all 3. I can tell you, the more you show us, the more likely you are to get selected. The more that we have to go off of, the more artistic merit that we can credit you with, the better. So this is definitely one of those opportunities where you want to flex, show them what you can do. This is also, if this is something that you want to do, it's something you should start thinking about now. What kind of song do you want to sing? Do you have a 1 minute cut of that song? Maybe let's find one. These are going to be video submissions, so you can use a karaoke track. We ask that you don't sing a cappella, but if you get invited to do this part, we'll send you way more details, I promise. Something to think about with the interview as well is, what are you going to get from this experience? What makes you ready for it? And what are you going to do with the knowledge once you have it? What do you want to do in Acadiana? What do you want to do with this knowledge? And what kind of stuff do you want to do in your future? Is performing arts somewhere you see yourself in forever? Or is it just, something you like to do now that builds character? None of it will really make you ineligible. It just helps us get to know you as a person. Cool. Let's keep reading. If selected, you will be expected to participate in fundraising events for the group, which means if you check, no, I don't need any assistance, and no, I don't need a scholarship, we still want you to participate in fundraising and getting as much funding as possible for your peers. Like I said earlier, this is where we really want to fight for the equity of everybody, which means as an artist, as a performer, as somebody in the arts, there are going to be some things that may come to you more easily than others, be it financially or a skill. And there are going to be some things that come to others easier than they come to you. Same thing. And so this is something that's really important, and a really important virtue that we want to instill in young performing artists now, that is becoming an industry standard, and that we fight for everybody to have the same opportunities. We encourage each other. This is not meant to be super competitive. This is meant to be supporting each other. That's something that I learned when I attended the Broadway Teachers Workshop in October 2021, same workshop, but for grownups. And I got to talk to the wonderful, I believe her name is Andrea, who plays Anne Boleyn in Six the Musical. She's currently on Broadway, still playing the role. We actually saw her just hours before she stepped on stage. And she told us that when it came to who was selected to be in Six the Musical, not one person who entered that audition room with a competitive attitude made it past the first round. But the girls who were cheering for each other and the team who was making sure that everybody who was auditioning felt supported are still on stage today. So that's something that is so wonderful and so valuable, and a skill that I think everybody needs to kind of learn and instill in ourselves as performing artists to make this performing arts industry a better place. So everybody will be expected to participate in the fundraising efforts, even if the money is not for you. We want to make sure that even our friends who may not financially have the same means can still have the same opportunities. All right, let's keep reading. By checking this box, you're agreeing to put down $150 on May 27th as a down payment and commitment to this educational opportunity. Now, this is non-refundable. So once you pay this, you are locked in, you are in, it's happening. If something happens that you end up having to drop out, we will have alternates and we will try to figure out something there, but it is still possible that if this is something that you commit to and you have to drop out, that you will not get that $150 back. It is why that we ask that you pay this part, because we don't want to have to be responsible for paying for people that just end up dropping out. So this is your commitment. This is you signing your name in red ink and saying that you are committed to this opportunity. So going on, please check that you understand and agree below. You can't finish the application without checking the box. Now let's look at our website. Here you will see TheLookingGlassTheatreCo.org/NYC application. This is where the application lives. This is where you need to go. If you click this apply here button, it'll take you to this application. But of course, I have the editing view because I made it. So you will get to fill out all of this and fill it out your way. Now, this trip is going to be February 17th through 20th, 2023. That is right before Mardi Gras break in 2023. We come back on the Monday, and you will not miss that Monday of school. You will just miss the Friday. It's something that we're going to try to work with principals and try to get us excused for. We have letters from Broadway Student Summit about what kind of things that we'll be doing to be able to turn into principals and hopefully, give us that edge and give us that opportunity. But it is also something that you may want to communicate with your teachers with as soon as possible, because this will be next school year, not just next school year, a year from now almost. So it's just a little less than a year away, but it's still something that if you get selected, you'll know well enough in advance and we can make the necessary plans. We'll be attending these workshops in Ripley Gear Studios, where Lin-Manuel Miranda, Andrew Garfield, Beanie Feldstein, Hugh Jackman, Sutton Foster, Alex Brightman, Liz Calloway, Patti LuPone, Stephen Sondheim, need I go on? All of these people have had rehearsals and processes and workshops in these studios. They are historic and they are wonderful and they are so cool. And that is where we will be attending our workshops. So on top of that, like I said earlier, we'll be seeing Times Square, the Rockefeller Center, Central Park, and all of that fun stuff. And going down, fundraising and sponsorship opportunities. You have your $150 down payment. Now this says applications due March 7th. Now here's what I'm going to do, because I already love you so much and I want every single one of you to have every opportunity to go on this trip. I'm going to give you until March 10th, the Thursday after Mardi Gras break. So we're about to go on Mardi Gras break. It's almost time. We are on our way out. Please fill out this application during Mardi Gras break. And then I don't have to worry about you filling it out on March 10th, but I'm going to give you until March 10th anyway, because like I said, I love you and I want to see you on this trip. So this says March 7th. It's going to say March 7th on the website, but you, special you, wonderful you, I'm giving you until March 10th. So fill out the application. Now, when it comes to parents, we will be having parents on this trip. We will be sending out chaperone signups once we have all of the students that are participating selected, and then we'll fill in any necessary spots that we need to from there. I really don't think that we'll need to. There will be special traveling rates for chaperones. But if your parents have any questions, you can contact us on this website, or you can email me at TheLookingGlassTheatreCo@gmail.com. That is me and the president of the Looking Glass Theater Co., who will be as present and helpful as possible for you through this entire process. I will be checking this email over Mardi Gras break if you have any questions, and I will try to be as here for you as possible because I want you on this trip. I want you to be able to experience New York City and all of its wonder. I got to go just last October for a very similar workshop, and it was such a magical experience that I left thinking, how do I get as many people to attend this thing as possible? And so this is what we're doing. We're going to make it happen, boys and girls. So now that I have talked your head off and I think given you my entire spiel, the ball's in your court. It's in your hands now. TheLookingGlassTheatreCo.org/NYC application. Go fill out your application, grab a friend, fill it out together, and it's going to be a really fun time. And hopefully I'll see you in February 2023 in New York City. Bye.